In this lesson, we're going to show the trace campaign. So this is a campaign that allows us to track what members are doing on the site, and we're tracking it using notes in Infusionsoft. So as you can see, we've got the login, we have a logout, we have a number of items or events that happen when people visit specific pages on the site. So I'm going to go one by one and show you how these work. So the login, and by the way, I mean, the note keeping is very straightforward. What we're doing in here is just saving a note, and we're using a naming convention that makes it pretty easy then to report on. That's shown in the other report. But what we're doing is these tags, these trace tags, are being called by the site, and then they're recorded over here. So let's bring over the membership site and show how that's being done. So the login and logouts make use of a feature in Memberium. If I go to Memberium settings and then I go to the login tab, there are two steps here. So when I do a login, I can call an action set, and when I do a logout, I can call an action set as well. And those are the two things that we're doing. So when that happens, one of these two action sets is called, and they both work exactly the same way. They set a tag, trace someone logged in, and that's the event that's being tracked, or that's the goal that's being tracked here, and as a result that logs. Now on each of these pages we're doing the same thing. So let's take a look at, for example, this connecting point one. There's a tag here, it's called trace connecting point. If I go over here, trace connecting point is tag 1861. So if I go to the website, I'm going to look at that page, and we're using the Thrive theme, the Thrive architect. You can see that we've got a WordPress snippet in here, and it is using the Memberium shortcode memset tag to set that tag. So that tag, just like the action set does, is causing this to start, and then we click on, there's the note that gets tracked, and then we have to make sure to return it so that this can be called over and over again, because an Infusionsoft goal tag only works when it's going from not set to set. Now the last thing I want to share is these there's one here, the teleconference posts. Now when you go and you visit a post, and I'll show you how that works here. If I can find one of these that's still, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong tab, so I need to go over here. So here I am, I'm logged in as a user, and I'm visiting the site. If I look at my dashboard, and let's say, so there I go to the dashboard, and I go to the webinar teleconference. This next page is a listing of posts. We could track this, but that's not really interesting. What's really interesting is how many people are going to each of these individual ones. So if I click here, there's a slightly different way that I'm doing the tracing. So right in here, something's happening. So let's take a look at that page, if I can find it. Here it is. So this is one that goes with that page. This tracing at the top, what it does is it does do the set tag like the other one, because 1871 is the tag that corresponds to a teleconference post. So what we want to do with this is we want to save a value, because we want to know which one it is, and we don't want to have the person building these pages to have to create a new event every time. So we have one event, and what we do is we store in a custom field the name of the page. So the pages in our case are named by the date when they're published. And then after we filled that page out, we're doing a set tag, and then we're doing a sync contact record to make sure that it gets flushed into the Infusionsoft field so that the note will contain the value that we're wanting. So now if I go like this and I look at, you see this is the result of visiting that page. So if I have another teleconference and it's published, let's say February 3rd, that would say February 3rd webinar here, and that way later you can go and trace all that information. So this is a really great way to track what's going on, get visibility to which pages, how many logins, how many logouts are occurring, so that you can take action and make sure that the member experience is as positive as possible.